Hello, welcome. I'm Roxy, and this is my kitchen. I'm so appreciative to have you here today. On Thursdays, I love to prep my dessert for the weekend, and this also includes breakfast. Today, I'm making Preppy Kitchen's Lemon Poppy Seed Muffins, and they're tasty and low-key and bright, tender, and lemony. I love anything citrus, if you know me. I've had a number of videos where I've done things that are citrus. And let's get started. The first things that I'm going to set us up with are the dry ingredients. I have 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. Then I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I have 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 tablespoons of poppy seeds, and then 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. Actually, pink Himalayan salt. So I have my flour. Actually pre-sifted it. I pre-weighed it, pre-sifted it, so 313 grams. Same thing as 2 1/4 cup. Then I have my baking powder. That's my 2 teaspoons right here. I have my 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And by the way, like always, I have my computer right here, my laptop, so I can see your comments. If you want to just let me know who's here today, how's your day going, let me know, I'm checking. I have my pink salt, that's what I always use. 1/4 cup, not 1/4 cup, 1/4 teaspoon, don't use 1/4 cup. And then I have 2 tablespoons of poppy seed, and I like to put it in during the dry portion of the process. And I mentioned that I already pre-sifted my flour, but now I'm going to use a whisk to get everything pre-sifted in here. And it looks like this. Just see the even amount of poppy seeds throughout. Are the poppy seeds optional? Absolutely. You just want a lemon muffin. It's going to be so tasty. There we go. So everything is all nice and incorporated together. Let me know in the comments below, when was the last time you had a lemon muffin or lemon poppy seed muffin? Now I'm going to move on to my wet ingredients section, let's say. So like I mentioned, I'm using a stand mixer. I've already pre-measured my 200 grams or 1 cup of granulated white sugar. I put it in here. And Preppy Kitchen, John, how he prescribes the recipe is to do 2 tablespoons of lemon zest. I'm gonna do 3. I like it super zesty. I've done the recipe before, and I found that each lemon is 1 tablespoon, so I'm gonna use 3 lemons here. And this is a zester. I think there are lots of different types of zesters that you can use, but this is the one I have at home. So that's 1. And you might be wondering, why are you putting it in the sugar? This is so the lemon zest doesn't dry. I get all the lemon zest in there, and then I'm going to kind of use my fingers to rub the zest to get all of those oils out, get it nice and fragrant, get that flavor. So you know, one of the things that I know would be really good about this recipe is making it like a lime version or a grapefruit version. I think it'd be really tasty. Or a lemon lime version I know would be really good too. It'd be so refreshing. So almost done, 2 out of 3. And also, okay, I didn't mention this before, but don't go any further than the whites. If you've done some lemon zesting before, you know it makes the recipe a little bitter. So just stop. Stop when you see the white. There's plenty of lemon here. Did you guys see my pink lemon meringue pie video? I think that pink lemon would be really tasty in this too. It's a little bit more florally. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting to see you. So if you're just getting here, I'm making lemon poppy seed muffins, and I just zested the lemon into the 1 cup of sugar. And I'm just going to take my fingers and then just basically rub it into the sugar. It makes the sugar a little darker, but don't worry about that. It gives it a really nice aromatic flavor. The oils are released from the zest. It's just perfect. So I think this is all set. Give it a minute. And if you're just joining, the reason why I put the zest directly into the sugar, 2 reasons. 1, I don't want to dry the zest. And 2, when I'm beating the butter during the creaming process, it actually continues to beat the zest in to get those oils. Let me just rinse my hands really quick. Grab my knife, and great. Now I'm just going to set this. I'm not going to set this aside. Now I'm going to be adding in a number of ingredients. This is all nice and zesty. It smells so good. I'm going to prep my Greek yogurt, which is, I'm giving you the list of ingredients. 1 cup of Greek yogurt. In this case, I actually use sour cream. It's a great substitute. I had it. I didn't want to waste it. 1/3 cup of milk, which is 78 milliliters. 1/2 cup of unsalted butter. This is a little more soft than usual because it's so hot here today, but Preppy Kitchen mentions to melt the butter, so I figured this is perfect. 2 eggs, 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I think we're good. So I really appreciate you guys joining. I do this every Thursday. Unlock this. Paddle attachment. Okay, awesome. So after this, I'm going to get in my 2 eggs, which I already have prepared, also room temperature. And then I'm going to use this vanilla bean paste to add flavor. I've also used lemon extract, and it's great in this too. Remember to scrape down the sides occasionally so we can get everything all nice and incorporated. And then, yeah, we just have to wait a second. I don't know if you guys have any questions at this point, but we're just going for it. Oh, I didn't mention Meyer lemon before. Meyer lemon would make this really tasty option too. So basically anything in the citrus family. Orange, blood orange. I feel like this is that episode of Friends where everyone is trying to make the list of states during Thanksgiving dinner. And Phoebe's like, I gave up and I decided to list celery. The only one I came up with was regular celery. I'm trying to list citrus right now. Who is your favorite Friends character? Friends is my favorite show. So I definitely like to scrape it down the sides. I see a lot of my sugar hasn't incorporated, but let's just. I have my camera guy here today. Oh, you know, I'm curious. Let me know how you like the audio this week because I kind of changed it up a little bit. Hopefully it's a little better and not too noisy. Let's see. This is fun, you guys. Did anyone watch the Friends reunion? Did I mention that this is half of a cup of butter? I don't think I did. Right? Guys, this is what happens. Long day at work. Then it's time for baking. This is like the best part of my week. Okay, I think that this looks really good. So I'm going to just put one egg in at a time. Try and keep it in there for like 20 seconds, help it emulsify, basically until you no longer see any streaks. With the second one, I'm going to do the 1 teaspoon of extract. If you kind of like the flavor of lemon loaves from Starbucks, I recommend swapping this out for a lemon extract. It kind of gives it more of that that flavor, that familiar flavor of the like iced lemon loaf from Starbucks. It's really nice. I tried that the other day with lemon loaf. I have a video for that too. Because again, I love anything citrus. So here we go. This is a new one. It's pretty thick. I love the flavor of vanilla. The smell, at least. I don't know how it's never really that distinct of a flavor when it's with lemon, I feel like. There we go. Okay, what's next? I'm gonna just grab my dry ingredients. Oh, actually, while this is going, the reason why I got my knife out is because I need a little bit of lemon juice for this process. So, oh, you know what? That's what I forgot, my lemon juicer. Let me get this. Oh, it's a really juicy one. I know I should have done this a little bit in advance, but again, I had a meeting during lunch, so I'm surprised that I even got all of this prepared. But let's see. That looks good for now. Let's start there. Actually, let's just go for it for the second lemon. Yeah, Phoebe looked great at the reunion. I think the whole cast looked great. I didn't go into it expecting, well, maybe not. I don't know, what do you think? Chandler. Matthew Perry, he's still Chandler. He'll always be Chandler to me. What am I doing now? Okay, so I got the eggs in. Now I'm just gonna go for the dry and then wet ingredients, and I'm just going to alternate them. I have Greek yogurt. I have milk. Those are the two wet ingredients that I have. And as far as the Greek yogurt goes, 1 cup, sour cream, and then 1/3 of a cup of milk. So I'll just have that, as well as the fresh lemon juice, which this recipe actually only calls for a tablespoon of, but I find it's good with a little bit more. Okay, let's go for it. I don't have a very talkative crowd here today, you guys. Do you have any questions for me? No? Oh, you might be wondering, are poppy seeds safe to eat? Yes, they are safe to eat. I looked it up specifically for this. This makes a really thick batter, at least the times that I've made it. It's pretty thick, so don't worry about it. So I just mix this until it's about 98%, not 98, 90% completely incorporated before I start on the next step. I just want to make sure that I'm not over mixing. When you over mix, it dries out the baking that you do. So don't do that. I'm doing the fresh lemon juice. It smells good. It smells really good. Right? This time I just don't want to make a mess, so I'm just going to be careful. Let me just mix this. I don't know, any like lemon poppy seed fans in here? I was just checking the room. I guess everyone here is a lemon poppy seed fan. Otherwise, why would you watch the video? Okay, muffins, question. Is it a dessert or a breakfast? I think it's a breakfast food. That's a dessert. See, I think it's like the forever question. I know it's not a cupcake because there's no frosting. Let's see, I made notes for questions that you guys might have. I am going to share a glaze with you guys on this recipe because the glaze is really nice because it's like it's like lemonade. It's refreshing, it's bright, it just adds a nice sweetness to the recipe. So I definitely wanted to share that during this process with you guys too. Yay! So 90% incorporated. Let me just make sure I'm not wasting anything. I'm just refreshing because it says I have an error on my screen and I can't really see if folks are saying anything. And then here's the last batch. So it goes dry, wet, dry, wet, dry. So 3 parts dry, 2 parts wet. Always end on dry.
Why do you always end on dry?
It's so it doesn't curdle. If it curdles anyways when you end on dry, it's probably because your ingredients aren't at room temperature. But all of these they're probably a little warmer than room temperature because it's, again, so hot in here. By the way, you know what I wanted to mention? Before I mention that, I'm just going to take this off and then mix the final amount by hand. You already want to preheat your oven to 425 degrees. I am going to do a switch. So I have some of the muffins ready to show you guys here. And I'm going to bake my muffins upstairs so that it's not sweltering down here. But you want to bake it at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Another tip that I have a Roxy tip. If you want the muffin domes, then at this point, instead of scooping it and putting it into your muffin liners, cover the batter and refrigerate it. It just helps the dough develop. It gives you that dome. I use it for cake donuts as well because I want the roundness on both sides. So here's the batter. Like I said, it's a really thick batter, but don't be worried about that. See, it's all incorporated. You can see the yellow lemon zest. It smells really good. I'm just going through a few times to make sure there are no wet spots here. Perfect. And then let me just tidy up a little bit. To move on to the next piece. Gosh, it's really messy in here today. Yay! Let's see. So let me get a napkin down here, but I have my muffin tray. I've already pre-lined some of them, and I just had these green ones on hand. They're foil lined. I really like those. I don't know if you care about that, but I've got these all lined. I use a ice cream scooper because I like a really even distribution, and then I go for it. So let me just do an inventory. Definitely got all of my ingredients in. I'm going to show you the glaze in a second. So look how thick it is. It doesn't even slide out, but have no worries. That's totally normal. And for that refrigeration process to get those like nice muffin top domes, I put them in the fridge for about an hour. And you want to just fill this 2/3 of the way full. Last time when I made this, it was like the perfect batter amount for 12. But I think recipes will vary based on the size of your eggs, right? I always go for the same size eggs at the store, but you know, when you get the dozen eggs, there's one that's really big and one that's really small. I try to go for as even an egg as possible, but you never know. This is more than 12. Let me just bang the pan a little bit to make sure I got something. Thank you. I really appreciate that you think I'm doing a good job. Yeah, this is not 2/3 of the way full. I might have gotten the wrong scooper. Let me just grab this other one that I have.
Baby scooper.
I know. It's so cute. This one, let me see what number it is. Oh, it has dough batter on it, so I can't really see it. But this, I think is my 1/4 cup. But you can see on top, I'm just getting a little bit on top of there. I'll just incorporate it. And you can see all of the zest in here because, of course, I went for 3 lemons, not just 2. The other tip that I have for dome-shaped muffins, this is only if, I mean, this is just a preference, right? But I really like the higher dome shape. It says muffin instead of cupcake, which a cupcake, I want a very flat top. I want it to be moist, have a great crumb, which this does, but I want a flat top for a muffin because I want frosting to go on it. So not that it really matters, but let me just set this aside. And I'm gonna be plopping this in the oven upstairs and probably having a couple of them tonight. But I wanted to get to doing the glaze with you guys. It's really easy. Again, tastes like lemonade. Just bright, citrusy. It goes so well on the muffins. So it's just 1 cup of powdered sugar, 113 grams, and then 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. I'm hoping that this is enough, and then you'll need a whisk for it. So it's funny, this lemon didn't have any seeds pop out. And you kind of want to apply the glaze once the muffins are all cool from the oven. And I'll show you finished muffins in a second because we're going to apply this. Another tip, if you like to take photos of your food, I think a little white food coloring doesn't hurt because this is a little translucent. So see how thin and runny it is? If you feel like this is a little too thin, no worries. Just add a little more powdered sugar. It's so simple, surprisingly simple. Okay, are you ready? Muffins, magic.
They're done.
They're done, ta-da! Movie magic. Let's see if there are any comments or any questions in here. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, totally zoom in. When the muffins are done, you want to make sure they're cooled and room temperature. That's exactly when you want to glaze it. If you want to be more pro and more sophisticated than me, I recommend putting this into a Ziploc bag or a piping bag, but I'm just going to go for it and I'm going to drizzle it. Actually going to drizzle it with a spoon. See how nice is that? Yum. Oh, I mean, I don't know. I guess another tip that I have, I did try this with gluten-free flour, works awesome. I did try this with dairy-free butter, works awesome. If you want to make this dairy-free, Kite Hill is an awesome dairy-free sour cream. They also have a Greek yogurt. The key, so I did try this with a thinner yogurt. It's just not enough moisture. It doesn't get a big enough muffin top, enough volume. So I definitely recommend that whatever you use, whether it's Greek yogurt or sour cream, make it a thicker variety. So I guess more fat content is of course going to be better for this. For storing, you can keep this at room temperature for 3 days. The glaze hardens a little bit, which is really nice to add that texture. And then you can also freeze these. So what I do is I freeze them. They're fresh for up to 3 months. If you want to keep them longer, they'll be fine. But apply the glaze right before you're about to serve them. And actually, I'm going to offer one to my camera guy, and he is going to give you an assessment of the Preppy Kitchen's Lemon Poppy Seed Muffins. Like, how is the moisture?
It's good.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's nice.
How is the crumb?
It's nice.
Can you tell that it's a muffin and not a cupcake?
It's not too sweet.
It's not too sweet. It's like just perfect for breakfast.
It's lemony.
Yeah. And, coffee or tea, what would you serve this with?
I'm a coffee man.
You're a coffee man. I think it's really nice with both. Don't make me choose. And then, what else?
This would be good with blueberries.
It would be really good with any berries, raspberries or blueberries. It just gives it more texture and flavor. And the last tip that I have is if you prefer a muffin with a crispy top, when you're baking these, put sugar on top of it. It's gonna make it a little bit crispier. Of course, it'll make it a little browner. There's no food coloring in this. And I think because there's so much zest in it, it kind of has a little bit more of that yellowy tone. Did you like the glaze?
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's lemony.
Yes.
It's very lemony.
It's super lemony.
It's like a blueberry muffin with poppy seeds and lemon.
Would be like what you prefer.
Would be the best.
Would be the best.
This would be awesome.
Yeah, totally. So For me, I would say this is an 8 out of 10. It's a really solid lemon poppy seed muffin. It's not too sweet. I think it's just it's so solid. It's really, I'm really excited to eat these and have them for like a few months, I guess, because I'll probably eat them all by myself. Yeah, here they are. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Thursday. I hope you guys have a really wonderful weekend. I'm here every Thursday at 5:05 Pacific Standard Time, always baking something. Next week, I have a coffee cake that I'm baking. So, you know, in America, we don't usually have coffee flavored coffee cake. This one is a coffee flavored coffee cake. The following week, I'm making potato Rice Krispie treats. So there's no Rice Krispies in it, but I love a sweet and salty dessert. So that's not a breakfast food. It's literally the dessert square. So the week after that is that dessert. So thank you so much for joining me. This makes me so happy to be able to share my love of baking with you. And I hope you have a great weekend. Bye. Yummy.